I'm Kenny Lowry, and this is Matt, and today we're going to show you how we kind of move boulders. Some people have requested that we show you how to move boulders. What we have here is a Colorado Forgotten Rock, this unstained, undrilled, so it's just raw out of the mold. So we're going to pick this up just to show you how we move them around when we pack them and things like that. So right now we're going to just grab this thing. Got to get your hands under it. Of course, you don't want to pinch your fingers. So pretty much just like this. This is the Colorado, and then we kind of move it into place. When you set it down, be careful of the edges, things like that. You don't want to chip the edges, things like that. But that's the Colorado Forgotten. Matt does deliveries all the time. He goes by himself on a lot of them, so he's moving these around a lot by himself. We also use a hand cart to move some of these boulders, and we're going to demonstrate how to do that. You can do it on this too. What you'd want to do is flip this up on its side. You might want to put some burlap down or something to keep from chipping those edges. But you would come under here with your hand cart, slide that lip under there, and then pull the whole thing back, and then you can move it around with the hand cart. We're also going to show you how to move one of the stacked rocks. Pretty easy. Matt's going to demonstrate that. I'm going to make sure that this is still in the frame here. Yeah, so Matt's going to show you, just kind of pick it up on the side. There again, you're going to take that hand cart, you're going to go in underneath of it. He does this all the time by himself, so he's kind of used to it. There again, use some burlap, things like that to keep from scratching it up. And just pull it back, tilt it back to yourself, and wheel it in your backyard. When you get something really heavy, and we've had to do this, you get a pallet jack, leave the heavy item on the pallet, and you can build a plywood roadway. So basically you're going to take 2 pieces of plywood, or 3 is even better, and you put them down as a roadway. The pallet jack won't roll across your open grass, so it will roll across plywood. So you'll leapfrog that plywood all the way back to where you're trying to get it to go. So that's like the heavier boulders, maybe the Pennsylvania boulder. That's probably the heaviest one piece that we do. And there again, we've carried that. I know I've carried it with just me and another guy one time when we were out on a job site. I think Matt's carried it with 2 or 3 guys. So, you know, if you can't wheel it into place, you can't use something like that, brute force. That's what you're going to have to do, is pick it up and carry it with brute force. Usually the more guys, the better, but 2 guys in a pinch, 3 guys is even better. Hand cart, you can use it. So various ways of moving these things. I was asked to kind of shoot a video and kind of explain that. So when you get it on your end, a lot of times these boulders are going to be setting down in the basin. It's the safest way to pack them and ship them. It protects the boulder from pallets and the forklifts and stuff like that running. So we put them down in the basin for that reason. And when you get them, you have to pick them out, pick them up, take them out. That's the best way to do it. You can kind of flip the basin over if you want to put a bunch of old blankets or something here, and being very careful. Try not to damage it. It's better to not try to do it by yourself. You're going to want some help out there to take it out. So lifting it out of the basin, if you have to, and you can kind of stand that basin up on its edge, put a bunch of cushioning down there beside it, have somebody over here to kind of catch it when it flips out. You know, use some common sense there when you're taking these things out. They're kind of heavy, not real heavy, but they're heavier. They're not as heavy as real rock, but they do have some weight. The edges on them can be kind of sharp, so if your hands aren't used to doing this kind of work, you might put a pair of gloves on, something like that, to help protect your hands. Our hands are like leather here because we do this all the time. So that's just a couple of helpful hints to move it that way. Just be prepared when you go to move it. Knowing what you're going to have on hand to do it is what you should plan on doing when you get your boulder.
One other tip we find helpful when moving a really heavy boulder, sometimes you can't get a hand truck in there or a dolly, so we like to use this PVC pipe. What you'll do, just lift one end of it up, you put the PVC pipe under it, put another one in the back, and you can just kind of roll it, switch one in the back. If you can get 2 or 3 of them, that's usually the best way to do it, and a little bit larger diameter pipe helps too.